So let me start at the beginning. We have the Ten of Wands upside down. Right side up, it does feel like you have a lot of burdens. You may have picked up on other people's energy. You may have picked up other people's responsibilities. It is upside down. So it does look like your burden is lessening. You're giving back responsibilities to those that it belong, lessons that you may know how to complete, but someone else may not know how to do that. But it does feel like it's time for you to make you the focus here, and not pick up people's issues if they dropped it. Doesn't matter if you know how to resolve it. They need to learn how to do this. This can be with children. This can be dependent folks, children, grandchildren, friends, spouses, but it does feel like you've kind of given back a lot of responsibilities to those that they belong to. It's that overhelpful-itis that we were talking about a couple of months ago, Scorpio. It does look like you have successfully released that burden on yourself. So now it's time to take a look at what you want to create, what you want to clean up. And this Scorpionic time, things might be bubbling to the surface for you a little bit. And this reading does dictate that there might be some things coming back from the past, just to complete it, release it, perfect it. But there may be some things in the past that you thought were resolved and that are not. This is the Eight of Cups. It does look like you've had to walk away from a situation that was not serving you anymore. This can be a relationship, whether it's a love relationship, a friend, a job, work, but it does look like you may have had some expectations of a situation that did not turn out the way that you thought it would. It does look like you got a little pissed off. The red is lighting up for me here, and it may have taken that angry space for you to walk away and stop the behavior or stop the agreement that you were kind of in a cycle. It does feel like you were in a cycle of picking up other people's problems, other people's messes. It can even be at work related. So you might have, somebody might have quit or gone on vacation, and all of a sudden you get all this stuff dumped on your desk. But it does look like you're guarding yourself a little bit more. You're making yourself just as important as the others in your life, and you are walking away from things that no longer serve you. It does look like it was a difficult decision, so this may have involved someone of the heart, whether it's a dependent person, a child, a spouse, a parent, but it does look like you put a stop to something that had been going on for quite a while and really not serving you, just draining you. So it does look like you've given people back their responsibilities and had to walk away. You may have hit a little anger around this. This moon is lighting up too, so it does feel like you are more intrinsic. You're looking at the things that would make you happy. It does look like you take into account other people's happiness with making a decision, but you should also put your hopes, wishes, and dreams and desires in that equation as well while making those decisions for yourself. The Wheel of Fortune is the top here. This is the 10 in the hierarchy. The Wheel of Fortune is a really lucky card. Buy a lotto ticket. Try something new that you've always wanted to try. It does look like a very fortuitous sign of the time. So if you wanted to take that class, take that class. Take a leap of faith is kind of what it is. Give a whirl to your highest dreams and desires that you've always wanted to do. So now it's a really lucky time. I always tell people, play the lotto. You never know. My gifts don't work that way, or I wouldn't be still working, I guess. But the Wheel of Fortune is a very, very lucky time. So it's a time to speak your truth with love and kindness. It may be, people may be more open to hearing your truths than they were before. So it's just a lucky time. And the Wheel of Fortune kind of shows up to remind you that it does feel like everything's lining up in your favor for this month. It is the top here, so it does encapsulate kind of the energy that's going on. So it is a very lucky time for you, sweet Scorpio. The Chariot is here in the past position, so it does look like you either may have taken a trip, saving for a trip, made a commitment to take a trip in the future, but it does look like you have found more and more of your own balance and your own internal strength. by relieving yourself of some of these responsibilities that are no longer yours and walking away. You've kind of opened up your own opportunities to start creating and start filling in that empty space or that blank canvas with what you would like to do and what your highest desires are. So it does look like you're in a new space and really reaching for the stars a little bit more and seeing the possibilities. The possibilities have widened a little bit. Not that you had narrow thinking, but it does feel like you have widened the possibilities for yourself. Whether it's your dream job, asking somebody out that you've always wanted to go out with, or saving for a luxurious travel. But it does feel like travel may be in the future. While this card presents, even though it's in the past position, it does feel like that you may have just recently kind of conjured up the idea or started saving for that next big adventure. What is in the present position is the 10 upside down. And 10s, again, are about completions. And this is 10 of Cups. This is also kind of dictates about the temperature of what's happening in the family. This is upside down, so it does feel like you may be pulling away a little bit from some family commitments that may be not setting too well within your family dynamics. But it does feel like there may be a little drama happening around the family that really doesn't include you, but it does affect you when you are around. Scorpio, you're very, very sensitive. So if you've got a couple of people in the family that are fighting, or maybe somebody who's battling an addiction and, wreaking havoc through the household, it does feel like you are taking your leave from that a little bit, letting them figure it out before you reintroduce yourself into the group setting of your family. But it does feel like it may be in your home, but it does feel like a larger family scope that a lot of people kind of get into, and you're just not subscribing to it this time. You're pulling yourself out. So this can be a relative that has a drinking problem, a drug problem that's unresolved, anger problem, something like that you're kind of sick of dealing with, and pulling yourself back until they kind of find the light. But it does feel like you're pulling back a little bit from family right now. That doesn't mean during the holidays you won't reconnect with them, but it does look like while some of this craziness is going on that really doesn't have anything to do with you, you're just pulling yourself back and watching it from a distance instead of engaging in it. King of Wands is here. Wands are all about being in integrity. Wands, if this is a person, this is a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. When kings show up, it's usually about some moral decision that has to be made, or taking the high road when people around you are not. This can be about status or wealth. Wands can be good fortune, influence, can be fair-minded. So you may have to be a neutral party between two folks that are fighting. It is right along this line, so it may be within your family dynamic. If this is a person, again, this would be a Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. So it does feel like this has something to do with this dynamic that you're pulling back from. And this may be the person that you are pulling back from and just watching from a distance. It does not feel like you're disengaging completely. You're just kind of allowing the flow and their resolution to happen instead of jumping in and fixing it or getting caught up in all that energy and drama. But it does feel like the King of Wands here is the stoic one, is the reasonable one, and kind of taking a look at things. And this also may mean that you're taking a step up in your wealth status. So you may have invested in something that's going to pay off. This is in the future position. You may be getting, a check or some money back from someone that you forgot about. But this can indicate some wealth coming to you or an adjustment in wealth. The High Priestess is here. She is the basis of the future. And the High Priestess is all about going deep within, feeling certain, using your gifts. So Scorpio, you may be using your gifts that you are aware of a little bit more. You may be perfecting it, finding some balance within yourself. And this usually indicates like meditation, psychic stuff, listening to your internal voice, Can even be yoga, but it's usually something that incorporates some connection with spirit. And it does feel like you have been gifted spiritually this lifetime. Most of you know about it. And if you are a Scorpion that is unaware of your talents, they may be presenting to you. So pay attention to yourself. If something feels like it's out of whack with the universe, it doesn't feel like that is true, please trust your information first and foremost. Even if it's something that someone that you really rely on, if it feels like jive, usually it is. And Scorpions, you guys are very, very intuitive. So please trust your information. But it does look like you may be presenting some of your gifts out into the world. You may be starting to do readings yourself. You may be writing a book about spirituality. And for those of you that walk in the church way, you may be going back to church or just praying a little bit more. And for those of you that wear the atheist hat, it just may be doing a little bit of self-healing, getting out in the world a little bit more and connecting and finding your smile. So I don't want to just lay it all on the religion type of thing, but it usually indicates some spiritual awareness and some integration of that awareness or information out into the world. The Knight of Cups is here. This can also stand for you, Scorpio. The Knights are usually someone under 40. If it does stand for a person, this will be a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. This can indicate you as well. The Knight, even though it's a male body, I don't assign gender roles to these cards, so it can be a male or a female. This can be somebody that's kind of leading you down the path a little bit more towards the High Priestess, someone who you're picking their brain. But Knights are really about motion. They really ask us to move things. And these Knights, these can be actually messages of love, because this is a cup. So this could be love. This can be a true love coming to you. This can be some emails or some kind of communication from a loved one. This could be a past love. This could be a future love. This could be a present love. But it does have to do something with emotions, and it does have to do with moving forward in some energy and some action. So this does feel like you may get some emails. You may get some information from a long lost lover or someone that you held dear in your heart. It doesn't have to be a sexual connection. This can be, maybe your cousin you haven't heard from for 20 years and you really miss them very much. But it does feel like pay attention. I know this is your birthday month. It's your birthday time. So you may get a birthday card out of the blue from someone that you haven't heard from in many, many years. So that is what the Knight is here. And usually cups are about emotions and love. So it may be, most likely it will be a friendly gift. The Ace of Wands is here, and wands are the hands of God. These are usually bolts of lightning, things that come out of the sky. This is also karmically when you're on your path. These are the highest level of this suit, and wands are all about action and fire and movement. So it does feel like something might just come out of the blue. You may be offered a position that you really had no idea was up for. You may be offered a speaking gig. It does feel like something that will come right out of the blue. It may be an invitation to a wedding, maybe last minute travel plans, but it does feel like something that it's exciting and it'll kind of take you by surprise when it lands in your lap. So those aces, they're very powerful, and usually these Aces of Wands is a beginning of something. That's action. That's fire. So it could be a brand new creative idea that is presented to you. You may be getting work all of a sudden. You may be getting a promotion, but it's kind of like it'll take you by surprise. Something that is just taking you by surprise. And it can be beginning of a new love enterprise for all those single or looking Scorpions. So pay attention. Something's going to come right out of the woodwork for you and kind of surprise you. It does feel like it's a positive, and it will project you forward into where you want to be a little bit further. The Knight of Wands, as I say, Knight is about motions. These wands are also kind of indicate motion. If this is a person, this would be a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius. It's usually someone under 40. It may be somebody that might be a little bit less mature than their linear age. But the Knight of Wands, this is really about good news about work and activity and positive change. Can even mean travel or possibly moving. So it does look like the cards are dictating a little bit more motion. So Scorpio, you may have be hiding in the cave. I know when it comes time to go from autumn into winter, a lot of the water signs kind of hibernate a little bit since the weather is not so groovy in the Western Hemisphere. But these cards, you've got a number of wands here. You got wands, 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 and a bunch of wands here. So it does look like come out of the cave, start accepting a little bit more invitations. It does look like you have been kind of isolating a little bit. You may have gone through, I don't want to say depressions, but you may have been sad over some loss of the past, whether it's someone who left their body or a job or a house or whatever that loss is. It may have revisited you at the beginning of November, end of October. So it does feel like your cards now are dictating, okay, you've processed, come out, you're needed in the world. To the left of this for clarity is the 9. This is the 9 of Pentacles. This is kind of collecting information, planting those seeds, figuring out what projects you want to do. And it may be a perfect time to organize or reorganize something, release something that no longer works for you. This wine is lighting up for me. These grapes are lighting up for me. So you may be growing something or thinking about starting a garden or thinking about planting a seed of creation. This may be doing some artwork during the winter while it's cold and just creating some projects for the future is what it feels like on the left side here. The Devil is here on the right side. This is usually it's a temptation. For those of you who are walking in the sober world or trying to get sober, this can be kind of that, oh, are you sure you want to get sober type of thing, or it can be a behavior that you have decided to release in the past. Maybe you are no longer going to loan money to this relative that never pays you back type of thing, and they come to you again. It's just a test of your willpower and your change. It's just Spirit saying, are you sure you don't want another drink? Are you sure you're done, housing this relative that keeps creating chaos? And it does feel like you're done. So it is a test. No is a complete sentence with a capital N in the beginning of that sentence and a period at the end of the O. That can be a complete sentence. So it is just a test of your own strength. Are you sure you don't want to give all your energy away to everybody else and not give to you first kind of thing? So that's what the Devil kind of indicates here. It's just a test. All right, sweet Scorpio, that is your reading for the month of October. That's your general reading. And I've picked up these wonderful Lover's Oracle cards, and I thought I would give them a try. Let's see. Soulmate. Your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. So for those of you who are single Scorpios, don't give up. Don't give up the quest. Just know that they are there. And for those of you already in a committed relationship, this usually means that you are either coming together stronger or releasing yourself from a love that no longer works.